Hello there, and welcome to day 7 of the Career Success Doctors video challenge. I'm Jane Lewis, and I am the Career Success Doctor. And I thought today I'd talk to you a little bit about myself. Because why would you want to listen to anything I have to say if you don't know anything about me? So, I was put on this planet to be a teacher. I can't not teach. My mum taught me to read before I went to nursery school when I was, 2 or 3. And by the time I was 4 or 5, I was helping my little nursery school and primary school friends to read because I did better than they did, thanks to my mum. And I grew up around teaching. My dad was a teacher. He became a headmaster. And my mum, although she was a nurse, she did a lot of teaching too. So teaching was all around me. It was in my blood, and it was something that I was good at. But I don't necessarily mean teaching in the sense of standing up in front of a load of kids and teaching, although I have done that. I worked for my dad for a year in Brazil, and I tell you what, being 17 in Rio de Janeiro was just the best. But that's another part of my history. So it's not just about standing up in front of kids, although I do a lot of one-to-one work with kids nowadays. It's about teaching in terms of helping people learn and develop. And that development might be through coaching, it might be through mentoring, or it might be through instruction, through training, which is something else that I do. So, as a teacher, my parents were very, very nomadic. They loved moving around. So, until the age of 36, I'd never lived in a town or village for more than 3 years, and I'd never lived in the same house for more than 3 years. And as a kid, we lived in various towns, fetching up, as I say, with my dad going to Brazil, which was absolutely brilliant. But I've also continued that nomadic life off my own bat. I've lived and worked in Greece, I've lived and worked in the Netherlands, I've worked in France, and I've travelled a lot to other countries beyond. I love exploring the world. And people sometimes ask me where I'm from, but because of all this moving around when I was a kid, I have a real difficulty with that question. Because really, truly, I'm a citizen of the world. When I'm pushed, because not everybody's satisfied with citizen of the world, when I'm pushed, I'll probably say I'm Welsh, because my dad was a native Welsh speaker, my mum's got a lot of Welsh in her background, and whenever we were between homes, when my dad was between jobs on this nomadic path that my parents led, we'd usually end up with my grandparents in Wales for weeks or sometimes months at a time. My grandparents lived in a very, very small village in West Wales, and I didn't really enjoy going there as I got older because there was absolutely nothing for me to do except read books. And I grew to know and love how to read books. So when I was very young, and actually for all of my childhood, I had a dream. And my dream was to go to my father's college. Bit of a challenge because my father's college didn't take women. And that's what people would say to me when I told them about my dream. And I don't know whether it was the power of my dream or whether it was just something else. The year before I wanted to go to university, my father's old college announced that they were going to be taking women for the first year. So I was lucky enough, and really I think it was a privilege. I was lucky enough to be one of the first women in a men's college in Oxford. And we had a great time. I was studying classical Arabic. Classical Arabic was the easiest way in to Oxford, but it was most definitely the most difficult way out. And since I didn't really have a passion for the subject, I had much more of a passion for the theatre, I kind of sneaked out with a degree, having taken an extra year to get it. So on one level, my university career was not that much of a success, but I grew up so much. I had so much fun, I met some great people, and I engaged with a lifelong passion for the theatre. After leaving university, I had various jobs. I spent about 7 years in sales and marketing in the oil industry, and then I became a management consultant, and I spent about 10 years doing management consultancy. And then I decided to set up my own business because I realised that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be my own boss. And since 1998, I've had my own business. I've been working as a coach and a consultant and a trainer, teaching people, helping people, supporting people in many different ways. I love coaching. I love helping people. I love being of value to people. When I'm of value to people, it makes me feel of value to me. And some of the things, my life in many ways has been very easy. Some things have been difficult. I did clinical depression. I talk about it quite a lot in different blogs and videos, because one of the reasons I didn't get help for my clinical depression was because in my family people didn't do depression. They didn't do mental health problems. Actually, I discovered much later that one of my grandfathers definitely did mental health problems. He used to go and have electroconvulsive therapy, which sounds pretty horrible to me. But in my family, we didn't do mental health problems. So therefore, it was not possible for me, because of my beliefs about my family and mental health, it didn't seem possible for me to go and look for help when I got depressed. So I looked for my own help. And my own help, the way that I found, was through NLP. I started doing NLP, I did a practitioner course, I did a master practitioner course, and I felt it had given so much value to me in my life that I went on to become a trainer of NLP, and I've trained people around the world in various aspects of NLP. NLP is really important to me in what I do, but NLP's got another importance, and that's because it took me to the real passion in my life, which is Huna. Huna is the spiritual, psychological, and energetic practices of the ancient Hawaiians. I love it as a spiritual practice even. I love it as a spiritual practice because it's very, very practical. It's not all woo-woo and out there. It's down to earth. It's about your relationship with yourself, with the planet, the people around you, the animals on the planet, the trees, the leaves, yourself, the planet, and with whatever you want to call it, God, higher spirit, the universe, something higher than yourself. And it's all about integrating those three so that your energy really flows and you're able to manifest what you want. It's not unique in what it talks about. There are many, many other traditions that talk about it. But for me, Huna's just rather special. And, by the way, it gives me the chance to go to Hawaii twice a year, where I study and now I teach. And one of my dreams over the next few years is to start teaching Huna much more in the UK. So that's me. That's something about me. If you want to know more about me, do engage with me. Contact me through Facebook page, The Career Success Doctor, or come onto my website, or you can even find me on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I'm Jane P. Lewis rather than The Career Success Doctor, but you can find me there too. And I'd love to meet you, and I'd love to hear about you.